The link mechanic upon introduction was polarizing to say the least. They don't have defense points, can't be flipped face down, and completely changed the game with new zones and rules. But I think the most intriguing part of links to me is the concept of linking and co-linking. Linking being one monster that points to another, or is being pointed to, and co-linking being two monsters pointing at each other. It was pretty significant during the days of Master Rule 4, with cards like Tregate Wizard, the Nightmares, and of course Firewall Dragon. But as time went on, it became less and less important, with link monsters really only being used to open up zones, and eventually when Master Rule 4 was revised and links weren't necessary to open up said zones, there's really no need for them to focus on the linking and co-linking effects. But one of the decks that puts a lot of emphasis on this is Appliancers. This is a quirky deck from the Vrains anime, and in today's video, we're going to look at how Appliancers made the most of the link mechanic. But before we get into it, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started. The Appliancer archetype was introduced to the TCG in 2020's Battles of Legend Armageddon. Battles of Legend is a weird combination of reprints, OCG imports, and promos. It's not unusual to see a completely new archetype debut in it, but they don't exactly light the world on fire, and Appliancers are no different, but certainly a very fun deck. The first thing that stuck out to me about the Appliancers is that thematically it's very similar to Morphtronic. An appliance or inanimate object coming to life isn't a new or original concept, but it's basically the same thing again. Although Appliancers have the AI element from Vrains, so it differentiates itself just a little bit. It's a battle phase deck, but not like Tenpai or Ancient Gears, where you're blasting your opponent away with damage. It's more that your points of interaction are triggered by conducting battle with your opponent. And that'll make more sense when we discuss the link monsters, but we'll start with the main deck monsters first. Appliancer Socket Troll is the best of the bunch. If you control an Appliancer monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If another Appliancer Socket Troll is special summoned to your field while you control this monster, you can special summon one Appliancer Socket Troll from your deck. So if you open with two in your hand, you can normal summon one, special summon the other, and that will trigger the first effect to summon the third from your deck. But generally, it pairs nicely with all of the main deck monsters. Next up is Copybockle, and as the name implies, it becomes a copy of your other monsters. You can target one Appliancer monster you control, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, this card's name becomes the monster's name until the end phase. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Appliancer monster in your graveyard. Special summon one monster with the same name from your hand or graveyard. Another easy special summon that also has a strong graveyard effect, although you can't use it as link material and activate the graveyard effect in the same turn. And finally, we have Breaker Bunkle, which can discard itself to protect your monsters from battle and prevent you from taking damage. Additionally, it has a graveyard effect similar to Salamangreat Phalanx, where it can banish itself to prevent your Appliancer monsters from being destroyed. This is the worst of the three by far, but still serves an important role as the monsters are pretty small and you don't want to be taking a lot of damage. And with there only being 3 main deck monsters, you kind of have to max out on all of them, but it's not that bad because they all work with machine duplication, which is a very good card. Moving on to the link monsters, I'll begin with the heart and soul of the deck, Appliancer Celtipus. This link card cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects, or their monster's attacks. During damage calculation, if an Appliancer link monster you control co-linked to this card battles an opponent's monster, your battling monster gains attack equal to the number of monsters co-linked to this card times 1000 during that damage calculation only. Once per turn, if an Appliancer link monster you control that is not co-linked to this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can draw one card. So when your link monsters are co-linked or plugged in, they get stronger, and it's effectively untouchable as it's linked. But it's only as good as the monsters underneath it, and they aren't the greatest, but certainly have utility within the deck. All of the link ones have an effect when they're co-linked or not co-linked. Dryer Drake, while linked, gains 1000 attack, and during your battle phase, when it's co-linked, you can switch the positions of 2 Appliancer monsters in the main monster zone, and the other monster selected can make a second attack. And when it's not co-linked and is targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack. Dryer Drake is actually pretty helpful when trying to close out games, and being able to swap zones means you can access all of your effects within the same battle phase. Kappa Scale can tribute itself to summon an Appliancer from your grave, but the effect differs slightly depending on the situation. When co-linked, it can summon back a link monster, and when not co-linked, it's a level 4 or lower Appliancer, which is kind of funny because all the monsters with a level are level 1, but I guess they were just future-proofing. Vaculephant is a strong point of interaction, being able to discard a card to pop a card your opponent controls, and if it's it's co-linked, you can target a monster in the main monster zone and destroy it, although you can't use both effects in the same turn. And when it's not co-linked, it can attack directly. This is a really important card in the deck, as it provides you with interaction outside of the battle phase, which is desperately needed. And Laundry Dragon, in my opinion, is the crown jewel of the Link 1 monsters. Cannot be used as link material the turn it's link summoned. Neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving this card. Once per turn, during damage calculation, if this co-link card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster. Once per turn, after damage calculation, if this card is not co-linked battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy that monster, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. Laundry Dragon is responsible for doing the dirty work during the battle phase, and regardless of whether it's co-linked or not, it's getting rid of your opponent's monster, and the attack boost from the Link 2 can make it relatively big. Moving on to the spells, we'll start with the field spell Appliancer Electrolyrical World. Its effect reads: when this card is activated, you can add one Appliancer card from your deck to your hand, except a field spell. Once per turn, if you link summon an Appliancer Link monster, you can add one Appliancer monster from your graveyard to your hand. Once per turn, when a monster declares an attack, you can move one Appliancer monster you control to another main monster zone. You can only activate one card with this card's name once per turn. This card is everything you'd want in a field spell. It searches, it recycles, and it facilitates the linking and co-linking plays, but the thing that sticks out to me is the wording of the first effect. When this card is activated, you can add one Appliancer card from your deck to your hand, except a field spell. It's written that way because it can search any card in the deck and has the archetype name in its name, but Konami usually just quotes the card's own name in the text, but I guess they wanted to save some ink. Archfiend's Strategy, which came out recently, is worded the same, and it's not consequential, but not something we see very often on cards. But moving on to the other spells, we have Appliancer Test. Its effect reads: target one Appliancer Link monster you control. Special summon as many Link 1 Appliancer monsters from your graveyard as possible to zones that monster points to, but banish them during the end phase. You'll only ever be targeting the Link 2 because it's the only one that points down. This card does incentivize you to make Celtipus with a Link 1 to bring it back later, although the Link 1s cannot be used as Link material the turn they're summoned. And finally, Appliancer Rescue is very basic, serving as a monster reborn, but the monster is placed on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. And finally, Conversion and Propellion came out the following year in Brothers of Legend, and at this point I'd stop playing the deck, but Conversion is similar to World C Zealantis, banishing your links and returning them to the field, allowing you to rearrange their positions, and Propellion can reduce opponent's monster's attack to 0. Good additions, but not enough to push the deck beyond kitchen table tier. There is no need to bash this deck too much. It's bad, pretty clearly, but still very fun. A battle phase control deck in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a tough spot to be in, especially without clear OTK potential, and the lack of quick effect interaction hurts really badly. But you kind of want to go second anyway to get all of your battle-centric effects, but playing into an established board is kind of tricky. Outside of the archetype, it can be a pretty interesting engine to put bodies on board, but not the most consistent. Running things like the Codebreaker engine allow for more link plays, and it definitely raises the ceiling of the deck, but not by much. When I played it, I paired it with Machina to close out games and provide an extra push. I included Machina Citadel, Irradiator, Fortress, Redeployment, and one Overdrive, which strangely had a bit of a price tag for a while. This is the kind of deck that works really well when your opponent doesn't read any of your cards, which is kind of why it's perfect for the anime. You get those moments where the smoke clears and the monster has been destroyed, and the character explains the effect. But in general, I absolutely love the gimmick of co-linking and not co-linking. It works thematically and provides a lot of combination for effects. Obviously, Nightmares do it better, and eventually something like Malice kind of takes it to the next level, although Malice utilizes linking rather than co-linking. There's only so much you can do with link arrows, but I still feel like it's underexplored. But Konami always finds a way to make something new, and I'm sure we'll see something in the future. But that's the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. What's your favorite link deck? Leave it in the comments below, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.